Welcome back to Positively Port St. Lucie. In this segment, we have a very exciting guest joining us. It's Sergeant Rod Dobler from the Port St. Lucie PD, and he's going to talk to us about a subject that I think is on the forefront of a lot of our minds. We also have Sarah Prohaska as well.
Hello.
So, Sergeant, tell us about, the scams. Oh, my gosh.
We need to protect our citizens out there, especially our senior citizens in this city, because the FBI has said at least 1 in 3 will be victims this year of scams. What we're experiencing right now, we have the IRS making telephone calls into, and it's not the IRS. This is a scam. IRS will never, never, never call you. The IRS will never, never email you. All right?
You can't even get them on the phone when you try to call them.
Well, you can if you want to. Yeah, okay. They will send you certified letters. That's how they deal. But what we're experiencing right now, we have received numerous phone calls. I have it on my phones where the IRS is telling you that if you don't call this number, you're going to be sued. IRS doesn't sue anybody. They just take your stuff. So what happens there, they're calling up people, they're calling our elderly citizens, and they're saying, if you don't call this number, and they're giving it 2 times, it's a generated female voice, that call this number, and that's what they want you to do. Now, we have called the number from the police department, and you'd almost think that the IRS has moved out of the country by the response you get. Now, I know they're diversified, but you get an individual that you can hardly understand on the other end. And it's a scam. They want you to go get a green dot card, and that's the other thing I want to talk about.
What is a green dot card?
It's a prepaid card. If anybody, and I don't care if it's the IRS or anybody, ever asks you to go get a green dot card or an iTunes card to pay off this, it is a scam. That's it. It's a scam. Because what they're going to tell you to do, go get the green dot card, just read me the numbers over the phone. Once you do that, they have your money. It's done. It's a done deal. This is what they're doing. This is the scam. We have one on our Facebook right now. It's the actual phone call. I'd ask everybody to look at the Port St. Lucie Police Department Facebook.
So they can actually hear a phone call.
You can actually hear the phone call. It's a generated female voice. It's a computer-generated female voice that will give that number twice. The number changes. Okay, the first number I had was from California, but that's just, they can send any kind of number to you. When you call back, you're going to get an individual, very hard to understand. I heard goats in the background, but that's a whole nother story. But it's very hard to understand, and he will ask you to get a green dot card to pay off this money. IRS doesn't sue you. They do not. They will just send you a certified letter. That's how they deal. But they are taking advantage of our elderly citizens out there.
Well, that too, and some of our regular residents that maybe are more savvy with social media or understand that, wait a minute, you're asking me to get a prepaid card, but the elderly that might not necessarily know any better might think that this is a new payment format that the IRS or anyone else trying to scam you for anything, not the IRS, but if someone's telling you there's a lien on your house and you have to pay this immediately, any of those things, if they're asking you to go get a prepaid card, number one red flag.
Or iTunes. I didn't realize iTunes cards.
iTunes cards. The IRS doesn't deal in green dot cards or iTunes cards. We had a victim recently in our city. The IRS came to his place of business, told him he owed X amount of money, go get iTunes cards, and he did, and paid them. That's a scam. He's out that money. This is the problem we're having. They're taking advantage of our elderly citizens in our city, and not just them, but everybody that gets involved in this.
It's these phone call scams.
There are astute business people that have paid this.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you call up and say, I'm from the IRS and you owe X amount of money, and, if you don't pay it, we're going to file, we're going to sue you. First of all, IRS doesn't sue you.
Yeah.
They will file a lien or they'll file a garnish on your wages, but they do not sue anybody, and they do not call you up and threaten you at all. And that's the problem we're having. But people are taking this serious. It is when they do this, they send out millions and millions of these. That's the problem. I had one I showed you earlier that I have on my office computer that I get. I've been called a lot of names in this business, but hi dearest. That doesn't, This is one that came in on my computer. They want me to get involved, and I have right you to discuss
clearly
with you
grammatically incorrect.
Your involvement. These people are not from this country. They interpret the language a little differently. So when they send us out, that's one of the keys with the scams that we deal with. You can do anything today with computers. You can do anything with copy machines. You can make it look as real as anything. You can send somebody a letter that they think is from their bank or something asking for information. These are scams.
Yeah.
And I would ask anybody that, and the problem is, we've had people come in the front door. We just had one recently. It's on our Facebook where Detective Wade Wilnow, economic crime, one of the best detectives we have over there, saved this gentleman $21,000.
Wow.
He was able to get into the account before the money went to Jamaica. And that's, you got to do it real quick. We had an individual that came in. I happened to deal with him. He was 87 years old. Came in, said, I sent a check for $8,000 to Georgia. I said, when did you do that? He said, yesterday. I said, we still got time. Let's go down to the bank. We went down to the bank, stopped payment on the check. What happens there, the guy from Georgia, which I found out who it was, called the guy and threatened him.
Wow.
An 87-year-old individual in our city threatened him. So I said, look, I'm going to come over, I'm going to change your phone. Now when we get over there, and I bring a computer expert with me, and this is another problem we see. His children had bought him a TV set, bought him the phone system and everything else. He went from a $50 bill, paying a monthly bill, to well over $200. He says, Sarge, I only want to watch one channel. He had 210 channels. They bundle them up. So it's not just people. So
everyone is
I got a hold
doing it,
of the company. I'm not going to mention names. I got a hold of the company. They came out and straightened it out for this individual.
Well,
but these are people, as I said, we have to protect our elderly citizens in this city, because the FBI has said at least 1 in 3 will be victims. I think it's more than that, based on the amount of calls we're getting. And they're taking advantage of these people. They're taking advantage, whether there's numerous reasons why they might get involved, but a lot of them are suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, and they just don't know, and they can't remember. They don't know who they sent the money to. It's heartbreaking.
It's a shame, and what we need to do, collectively remind everyone that we know about these scams, spread the word, so that people know exactly how out of control this is. Well, thank you so much, Sergeant.
I think we should have you back on, because there's other
scams. Back at another time and
there are other scams that
there's a lot of scams. We had the red light camera scam, which we had victims. We had the credit card scams. We have email scams and everything. That's all I deal with. I'm a crime prevention practitioner, and that's what I deal with on a daily basis.
So if you want to find out some more information or learn more about it, call our PD department.
Absolutely.
They are here to talk to you. We're here to help you if you have concerns or questions. And if you're not sure, don't do it. Anyone asking you for anything prepaid, don't do it.
Well, the last thing they tell you is, keep this secret. This is between you and I. That's what, they don't even tell their wives. Or that's the other part of that scam. Yeah. Don't tell nobody. Just go get me a green dot card and read me the numbers.
If they tell you that, call the PD and ask them, what should you do?
I'll deal with it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it.
And we'll be right back after these messages.